as for my lawsuit update, it's, I mean, obviously, it's mildly depressing because the lawsuit is still going on. It should be over. Um, if you read the actual opinion, you kind of get the idea that even the judge kind of thinks it should be over. I have to speak very diplomatically about it because it's an ongoing case. It's really annoying that I'm involved in specifically. But I think there's some statements that are made in the decision that I definitely disagree with, but it doesn't really matter that I disagree with them. Like the judge rules, so the only thing you can do is either appeal it or go on. And that's a tough question of what exactly to do in this situation is. And I haven't made any decisions on that. So with that, I won't be discussing like what we're doing yet, mostly because I don't fucking know. Because yes, to whoever's asking, the judge denied the anti-slap motion, said that Colorado law doesn't apply. I don't actually think that that's the correct decision, but okay. I mean, I saw her reasoning, and it's fine, I guess. Um, I thought it was a very interesting play by Randazza. I hoped it would work, but uh, it's worked in other cases. It's worked in other jurisdictions. Testing it here was definitely a test. Would it apply? And I still think that Mark Randazza laid out a completely reasonable argument as to why it should apply, and the judge disagreed. That's how lawyering goes. But yeah, so she refused to apply Colorado law, therefore no anti-slap. She did a summary judgment analysis, which, I mean, I disagree with the analysis. I think it would be silly if I didn't disagree with the analysis because we made the case in the opposite direction. So I have some issues with it. The long and short of the decision, which we'll get into the long tomorrow, is that the judge basically said it was a summary judgment motion, but that means it was premature because it was prior to the closure of the discovery window. But the interesting thing that allegedly is remaining is the idea of damages, which would come from the plaintiff. So I'm not sure why the discovery window is relevant to something that we wouldn't get in discovery, but that they should be providing at the onset of the case. But that's just like my opinion, man. Generally speaking, you can't just make conclusory assertions of damages. Like, I was damaged. Well, how? Like, what is the damage? They're the only ones with that evidence. So, not bringing it up through the summary judgment motion seems like a whatever. As for when discovery closes, someone asked when that was. That will be determined at the scheduling conference in August. So, and it'll probably be a while. Now, I have no idea, by the way. I'm not talking about an actual legal strategy because I don't have a specific legal strategy at this point. But I would think that with the indication that the discovery is only thing at issue for summary judgment is going to be this question of damages, I would think we don't need an excessively long discovery window. It doesn't seem all that complicated to me, but what do I know? So, and I'm not sure what the purpose of extending the discovery window out past even now is because if there is damage, I think we would have to assume that it would have been realized by the time they brought the case. Now, I'm not going to simply say that this case is entirely intended to cause me stress, to restrict my speech, to cost money. I mean, I would never suggest that someone would bring a frivolous case for the purpose of doing those things rather than the actual thing, which is try and compensate themselves for real damage. But it kind of looks like that might be the case here. So, you know, but it remains to be seen. I mean, in theory, Montagraph could have tons of evidence of how he was damaged by his subscriber count growing and all of that stuff. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. And again, everything I said about Montagraph is based off of things that have been said about Montagraph for years and years and years. But again, I don't know. I have no idea how he's going to show it. So it'll be interesting. We'll see. Can you take this to jury? I would prefer not to. This shouldn't be going to jury. It should be dealt with as a matter of law. I still contend that nothing I said actually qualifies as a defamatory statement. But, you know, we'll potentially have to cross that bridge at a later time. There's some pretty good indicators in the decision itself on why this case will be, why we might actually win on a timely summary judgment motion. But in the meanwhile, looks like we'll just have to wait until August to figure out when the discovery window will be closed. And then we will have to wait till it's closed to file a summary judgment motion, I guess. Very fun times. But that's how law works. And you know, I've gotten a bunch of messages like, why is this still going on? Why is this? Why? It's like there's not like a button you can press to make anything happen in law. Like there's nothing you can do to accelerate the process. Well, if this is frivolous, why isn't it over? Well, because the process doesn't allow you to just end a frivolous suit. There's a process for doing that. And that process takes time. There's just no way about it. It just takes time. How much time is up to the court, and that hasn't even been determined yet. So, fun issue, I guess, to have. It's part of it, I suppose. But anyway, it is really frustrating, though. Obviously, it's a frivolous lawsuit. It's two retards fighting on the internet. No one actually thinks anything possibly defamed Montagraph. Montagraph's reputation is trash. It's been trash for a long time. That's the whole point. The first time I was exposed to Montagraph was Jim showing me a lawsuit that Montagraph filed that was frivolous because his reputation was trash, and it was a defamation lawsuit about the same shit. So, you know, I mean, I guess it'll be very interesting. I guess, you know, I would imagine that his lawyer is working for free on a contingency, out of sheer animus is my guess, because I don't see why on earth he would be charitable to Montagraph. Like again, it's such a weird thing because all of the stuff that Schneider has put in the filings, specifically the stuff about me that's extra false about like conspiring with people and going after people and harassing them and, you know, doxing them and all that stuff. That's stuff that Montagraph actively does. And I don't do it all. So I mean, I don't think that Schneider's like, this is a poor oppressed person, but maybe he is, or maybe he's just completely hoodwinked by it. It doesn't make sense to me. Or again, Schneider just really doesn't like me, which is a possibility. And I don't know why, other than maybe this show, because he just doesn't like how I do my show. Maybe that's it. But but I don't know. What a waste of time. A waste of time and money. So yeah.